Okay, we're live. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our live stream. Today we're going to be talking about building open source communities, and I'm going to be introducing you to a new community team that we've got working with me, with the Vendure team, on our open source community. First of all, let me give you a bit of background. So, a couple of months ago, David, my co-founder, and I we were sitting down together and we were talking about plans for the coming year. So, at Vendure, we're a small team, but we have big ambitions. And one of the problems that we identified was that, like, I personally was stretched very thin, and it was very difficult for me to focus on the long-term plans because I'm caught up in like many day-to-day tasks that are involved in running an open source community. So exactly 4 weeks ago, we published a blog post, which you can see here, announcing the Vendure open source community team. So this was the solution that we came up with. And I'm going to just read the intro so you all have a bit of context. Since the beginning of the Vendure project, I've been single-handedly running the Vendure community, answering questions, triaging issues, creating content, all in addition to the work on the platform itself. As Vendure's continue to grow, I've had to juggle the community, core development, supporting our enterprise customers, plus building commercial products. It's a lot to deal with, and now I need your help. This was a cry for help. I've been involved in the open source movement for well over 10 years. I'm therefore keenly aware of the importance of a healthy, active community. An inactive, unfriendly community where questions go unanswered is the early sign of an OSS project that is headed in the wrong direction. That's why I'm calling on you. Help me and help the whole Vendure community and ecosystem continue to expand and thrive by joining our open source community team. And then I found this video like a few days before, and I thought it just fit really well. Let me play it here. Oh, that's loud. So this is like it's just a guy at a festival, right? And everyone's sitting down on this field, and he's just out there and he's dancing. He doesn't care what's going on. He doesn't care how he looks. He's just doing his thing, right? And I kind of looked at this video and thought, yeah, that's what I feel like sometimes. I'm like this guy dancing. And before long, a second guy comes along, starts dancing along with him. And it's for a while, it's just the two of them dancing. Fast forward a bit, it's a bit long. You know, after like a minute, it's just the two of them. And then like before long, another guy's joining, right? And then people kind of feel like, seems like the thing to do. And, you know, before you know it, they've got like the whole festival going. And for me, this was like a great analogy with kind of community activities, because it's a group thing, right? And it takes a group, it takes this agreement that everyone has, that we have like a common purpose and we're all going to do this thing together. And this is the thing that we've been lacking for like the 6 years or so since I started the open source project. It's been something that we needed. And so we sent out this call, we published this blog post, and we outlined the purpose of like, what do we want this team to be? So we came up with points like creating and maintaining a healthy community that's welcoming, active and helpful, assisting with project maintenance and issue triage, promoting the Vendure open source project via word of mouth, social media, blog posts and other forms of content, and then coordinating between the Vendure maintainers, the Vendure core team, and the community relating to issues about product development and how we're managing the community and so on. Within hours of publishing this blog post, we started to get the responses coming in. And like after a couple of weeks, we had well over like 40, 50 applications. Hey, Ben's here. So Ben, great to see you. You're familiar, the video is great, right? So if those who don't know, Ben is like, he's been involved in the open source commerce community for a long time, very big into the Magento community, and now working with Chopware. So great to have you here, Ben. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, we received all these applications, and it was really hard to choose. I've got to say, we decided we're going to kind of go for like 6 to 8 people to start with. So first thing I had to do was like make a shortlist, and my shortlist was like 15 to 20 people. I was like, I want all these guys on the team. A lot of you I know, so it was really hard to whittle down. Anyway, we managed to do it, and I'm happy that today I can introduce almost all of them here. Some couldn't make it. We're trying to coordinate across 4 continents right here, so you know, we've got to bear with us. But we're going to do some intros now. So enough talking from me. I'm going to switch over to our open source community team members, and I'm going to pick one of you, right? Because I'm controlling this studio. I'm going to pick one of you. It's going to be a surprise. You're going to see your face come up on the screen, and just introduce who you are, where you're based, how you got involved in Vendure, and why you applied to be on our open source community team. Okay, so let's see, who should I pick first? Martijn.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm honored to be the first one to introduce myself. Some of you might know me from Discord. I've been answering a bit less questions the few weeks because of busyness, but that should change soon, I guess. So how I got involved with Vendure. I started 3 years ago, fiddling around with Vendure. I had a similar tech stack in my job as a developer. With TypeORM and Nest.js, and I got some questions from people around me if I could build web shops. And I found Vendure. I think, no, this is an interesting tech stack. So I started building some small shops. Also interested in contributing to the core, since it was pretty new 3 years ago, and that gradually evolved into building more advanced solutions with Vendure. I started working together with Surafel about a year ago. You might have also seen his name pop up in Discord, answering questions and asking questions. And even more recently, Zacharias is helping me out on the storefront part. And my longtime friend Niels is also joining Pine Lab as a sort of a late co-founder to help me grow Pine Lab a bit bigger into a real e-commerce agency. With my company Pine Lab, we build e-commerce solutions with Vendure, solely with Vendure, and we try to build software in a sustainable way. I've always developed software for a lot of customers in my job as a developer, and it was always hard to maintain customer-specific software. So our aim is really to build sustainable software, and that's why I also applied for joining the open source team, because we want to build sustainable software and build an ecosystem around it, because I think that's the way to go if you want to build advanced software and keep it maintainable over the years. So that's why I'm here.
Great. And yeah, like Martijn, I've got to say, he's been like a pillar of the community for many years. Since the very early days, you may have seen him on the YouTube channel before. We did an interview in the past, and it's great to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, who am I going to pick next? All right, Kevin, you're up.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Kevin. I hope you can hear me, but as far as I see,
hear you
I think it's
loud
great.
and clear.
Nice. So yeah, like I said, my name is Kevin. I've been working with Vendure for quite a while as well, since the very first beta announcement, basically. With my startup Finding, we are building like a rental marketplace, and therefore there are a lot of challenges involved. But everything I've been able to tackle so far with Vendure. And yeah, therefore from time to time I also started visiting back then the Slack channel, annoyed Michael with some questions, and yeah,
Did
at
we
some
lose
point
audio there?
Oh, we lost my
I don't
audio.
hear you right now. Does everyone else hear Kevin, or is it just me?
Oh.
You hear him? Okay, maybe it's just me.
Okay. Yeah, so like I said, I annoyed Michael in the beginning with a lot of questions, but yeah, after some time I was able to answer most of the questions there as well. And yeah, I enjoyed it to engage with the community, help other people out as well, see Vendure grow as a product and community. Even visited the first Vendure Dev Days, which was the blast. I learned a lot so far, and yeah, that's something that I want to continue doing, and therefore I applied and got accepted to the open source community, to the team.
Thank you, and sorry for the interruption. I don't know, it's a problem on my end. Let's see, I'm carrying on with can everyone hear me? That's the question. Yeah, okay, good. We're all good, we'll carry on. This is like live TV, it goes like this sometimes. Okay, Baraka, let's hear from you next.
Cool. Hey everyone, my name is Baraka. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya, and I work as a software engineer at Apago, which is based in the United States. I've discovered Vendure about 4 years ago when I was working on a client project at work, and they were migrating from another commerce platform, and they wanted something customizable. So I went on searching and I discovered Vendure. I've never looked back. It's been an absolute delight building on Vendure. The community has been great. it was very, very comforting getting stuck and opening an issue, and Michael would quickly come in and help me with such. So I've had a great experience working with Vendure, and I applied to the open source community team to help make it even better. And yeah, I'm glad to be here, and I hope to be interacting with you guys in the various channels, Discord, and so on. Thanks.
Thank you, and great to have you aboard. So with that, we've got one left here who's not spoken yet out of the members that we've got live. So I'd like to introduce Miranda next. Take it away.
Hi, thank you, Michael. My name is Miranda Peak, and I'm based all the way over in Los Angeles, California, in the United States, where it's currently 8 a.m. I'm a full stack developer at Art Hub Studio, and I got involved with Vendure actually like a month or so ago because I wanted to utilize its platform, specifically the multi-vendor plugin, to create an art e-commerce marketplace where our represented artists will sell their art. I have really enjoyed working with the community so far, and I look forward to being a part of this team. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for getting up early to be with us today. You've got the least convenient time zone out of all of us, so well done.
Coffee.
Yes, that's
Yes.
always fun. So yeah, as I say, we're coordinating over like 4 continents. So there are some who've not been able to make it today, but we have a page up on our website. If you head over to, you might notice it's refreshed. So David's been doing a great job on this in the past week. Under the developers tab, we've got our open source community team page where you can see all the members. And so I'd like to introduce those who haven't made it today. We have Lacey. She's also based in the US. And we have Alexander, who's based in Poland, I believe. Bruno is in Brazil. I think he's in Brazil. Giose is in Italy. Yeah, we'll probably do a follow-up where we can speak to everyone, or maybe we'll do some kind of regular thing, who knows? Plans are still developing. It's very much like a kind of, it's not like I'm making all the plans and telling everyone what to do. It's really a collaborative effort. So this is something that we're all creating together, right? So that's the goal, at least. So yeah, this is the page we've got dedicated for that. So the next thing I wanted to cover was like, what is this team actually going to do? When we made the survey, the application form, we had like some different checkboxes of like what people interested in, and these kind of, we try to align them with what do we actually feel like we need as a community. Like, what do I personally find that I spend a lot of time doing, which would be it would be helpful to be done by other people, or we have assistance from other people. So we've kind of split things up like this, and this is just so everyone knows who will be kind of focusing on what areas. These are not like set in stone. These are not like jobs that you can only do this thing or that thing. It's like more like, this is the area of focus, and we accept all forms of contribution to the community other than these. But like, first thing, Discord moderation. We have Kevin, we have Miranda. Miranda, like, I actually assigned you to this like the other day because I just saw like, well, you're active and it looks like you can do this. So I think you can do well on that. Kevin was helping me this morning with a raid that we had in Discord. So that was great help. So it's already paying off. Discord support. This is something that I've spent many hours of my life doing. We have a big Discord community. It's very active, lots of questions. And I'm very happy that I have support from Alec, from Lacey, from Kevin, from Miranda, from everyone. I've seen you all getting involved in Discord support. One thing I'm very proud of with our community is that people come looking for help and they usually find it. I'm a member of many open source Discords, and there are those that are kind of like a desert. You go there, you ask your question, and then you just wait and nothing much happens. But our Discord is really lively. There's many eager people helping out each other, and now I'm really happy to say that we have one level of more dedication, who really know this stuff and who are really prepared to help, and that's so helpful to me and to the Vendure team. It allows us then to focus on our more long-term plans. We've got plans for documentation, so Baraka, Miranda, Bruno. There's lots of things we can do on documentation. Our docs are pretty good so far, but everything can be improved. And I look forward to working with you and getting your input and having your different viewpoints about, you know, what makes sense, what's unclear, like where can we improve things. GitHub triage. So this is, you know, any maintainer of a reasonably large open source project kind of opens their GitHub notifications in the morning with a little bit of fear and thinking how many new issues are going to be in there this morning. It gets overwhelming. At some point, people just say, okay, I'm just not going to open the notifications anymore. I'm not at that stage yet, but there is a lot to do as Vendure continues to kind of expand and more people discover it and more people have questions or find issues or whatever. There's lots of stuff to do. Yeah, so triage is like just the first step of like, okay, do the issues make sense? Are they reproducible? Is it actually a duplicate? All these kind of things that just kind of the groundwork for how can we keep this under control, because it's like very important that people feel that there's some responsiveness in the community and in the project. Again, like with opening issues in a Discord that don't go answered, same with opening an issue in GitHub or even submitting a pull request that's then ignored, is something that we really want to avoid. And GitHub triage is like the first step to making sure we're responsive. And finally, there's promotion. And I think like all of you can do this, but we've got Baraka, Miranda, Bruno, and Lacey. Some of you have already started like working on blog posts and other content, and basically in word of mouth. Word of mouth is a great avenue of promotion, especially for developers, where developers tend to trust other developers. They tend to distrust marketing pages and marketing buzzwords and stuff. So yeah, like from the very start, I always kind of wrote about and promoted Vendure as a kind of a developer to developer thing. And I think this is what, like, you're a team of developers, this is what you can do well. So I look forward to creating lots of things on that front as well. Right, I'm going to open up the floor now. I'm going to invite everyone in to the party who's here. So yeah, I've just mentioned a few areas, right? And I wanted to know if anyone has any ideas that they'd like to talk about, any suggestions, and we can just kind of talk about it right now. Yes,
I have an idea. All right.
Yeah.
You've mentioned, we have a quite active community and we solve a lot of questions. And therefore, I felt like we should try to implement a culture of actually marking these questions as solved, and therefore like easier to find. And I mean, in some steps forward, there are also some Discord bots that can like collect all the data of solved questions, and maybe we can feed it to a AI or something. But yeah, it starts with tagging and marking questions with categories. What are your thoughts to that? To enforcing some.
Yeah, I mean, like at the moment we just have the kind of solved tag, which is sometimes used. I think it's a matter of like awareness as well, and probably it does take someone to, like, if it solves, they just comment, say, hey, did this solve your question? If so, mark it as solved. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing that like goes along with like Discord moderation and then making, like you say, bring a culture to the community. I think that's important. I think that can work. Like, do you know of any kind of automated means of improving that side of things?
No, I think Discord just offers the possibilities to have some tags that you can assign.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking that with enough tags, we can categorize data and answers really well, and maybe make use out of that in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure. You know, especially in this era of like language models and stuff. Once we have like a corpus of questions and answers, maybe we can even like build some kind of tool on that in the future. Who knows? For sure. Cool. Has anyone else got any kind of suggestions or ideas that they had on any of these areas that we looked at? Miranda.
Yeah, piggybacking off of Kevin, I think, and on Reddit, if there's like a forum question, some people will type the word solved with like an exclamation point to then tell the forum that it's like solved, and then it'll add the tag automatically. So I don't know, maybe that might be an easier way to tag things, because I know like adding tags is like extra clicking and people might not remember. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I think it's like, I'm not a Discord expert, right? Up until like we switched over from Black to Discord like last year, and I was always like so confused by Discord. Anytime I log into Discord, I'm like, I feel old. Like, what's going on here? I've got used to it now, and it's actually a really great platform for open source communities. But there's like still, I think there's a lot of things I don't know about it. But I'm happy to have some people who maybe know Discord a little bit better than me helping me along. So that's good. But that's a good suggestion. Yeah. So one thing I mentioned on the docs, right? This is something I've always wanted to do, but I've never like kind of had the time. So we have people come into our docs with all levels of experience, like senior developers who've been doing it for like 10 years and like more junior developers. And we make certain assumptions about how much they know, even in the language that we use and the terminology we use. So one thing I thought would be great would be having like a glossary and all the kind of key terms that we use to do with the tech stack, to do with the domain of e-commerce and basically anything in the docs that could be unclear. We have like a glossary, and you can kind of hover the word, and you get the definition. And something like that wouldn't be too hard to implement, I don't think, and kind of a fun project. And it can be like kind of a crowdsource thing as well that people can easily add to with PRs and so on. Anyway, that's just one idea. It's one of those things, I've got a long list of ideas that I would like to implement. With the formation of this team, I'm hoping to execute on a few more of these ideas now that I have backup. So that's great. Let's see what else we've got. GitHub. Oh yeah, Martijn, go ahead.
I'm also just making up ideas on the spot, but one of the things I'm struggling with is that I know that I've seen an issue somewhere, and then I'm just searching through Discord to find the answer again. But I have to say that searching through Discord is not very accessible. So it would be really nice to somehow be able to search through all the Discord answers, like Kevin said, like some sort of a knowledge base. Instead of having to log into Discord, but maybe just some page in the docs or something.
That would be cool. There must be some way to do that. I mean, I've not really looked into the APIs that Discord expose, but it could even be like, when something's been marked as resolved, then it can be like go into this knowledge base kind of automatic. That would be
great.
Idea. Yeah, and that also solves the problem of kind of like having this silo of data. Because I like personally, my preference is that everything's open, all the community stuff's open, like on GitHub. It can be searched, on a search engine, and it comes up. With Discord, that's not the case. It's all inside the platform. But if we can kind of externalize some of that knowledge, that would be great. Yeah. So if that's a little project, isn't it? It's a little research thing that someone can do. What was I going to say? Okay. Oh yeah, and another thing on the GitHub triage. So actually, I took a bit of time to put in place a bit of a process, a system with like what tags need to be applied. Martijn, I got to share this with you as well. But yeah, just bringing more structure. Like for the past 6 years, it's just basically been me doing all this stuff. So I tend to work without much structure. I just do stuff, right? That's the way I've got things done so far. But we kind of got to the stage where I've got to stop just doing stuff, and we've got to put a little bit of processes in place. And this is a good chance now. Now, working with a team, we put some things in place and we can kind of work a bit smarter. I think we can do that definitely with the GitHub side of things. We've got a comment here from Ben. Back in the old days of IRC, we had a bot that would effectively export content to a web page. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, that's actually quite easy. Like Discord also just has a JavaScript API. I also wrote few bots already. You just need to let them run, feed them with your ID, and you're basically done. You can listen to everything, push it. And actually, it would be a funny idea to just push it to a type sense database and then use like Vendure itself to actually access it and like list all this data.
Kevin, you've got the job.
It's a plugin, easy.
Yeah, totally. No, it would be fun as well. It would be a fun little project to do. So Bruno, hello. I'm glad you made it. So
hello, guys.
You missed our round of introductions, but would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are, where you're from, how you got involved.
Sure. First of all, sorry for being late. I was just finishing my last meeting at the work. My name is Bruno Almeida. I'm currently working as a technical program manager for Quinto Andar, a startup in Brazil. As they're not related to Vendure and my thanks to Vendure, that's why I didn't brand them. Sorry for that. But I'm the venture of developer. I've been developer since 15 years ago. And basically, I am working to build my own startup with Vendure since Vendure 1. So it's kind of not having time to finish it, but still using it and getting done. And basically, that's all for me. and I hope I can contribute with you all.
Thank you, and I love this pronunciation. You pronounce it Vendure.
Yes, it's kind of the way reading Portuguese, Vendure.
I think I've spoken to Italians who also want to pronounce it this way, but it
And
totally makes
how
sense.
does it pronounce? How is the correct way to pronounce it?
I pronounce it Vendure,
Vendure. Okay.
but then like
Vendure sounds more with passion.
it does sound. It sounds impassioned. It sounds romantic. I like it. I might make an official change at this this rate. No, it's all good. I accept any pronunciation. So I'm kind of getting to the end of things I wanted to talk about. Now we've met everyone who's here. I've got a message from one of our members. Okay, yeah. So Jose, who's in Italy, he's on a train and the signal's bad, so he couldn't make it. So there's lots of tunnels in northern Italy, so he's probably going in and out of those. We'll speak to him next time. So the last thing is I wanted to just talk about the general topic of open source communities, right? I've got a little blog post that I found, so let me just share this. So this is I found this like early today. This is from Grafana Labs, who's an open source project also. They're talking about what makes a good open source community, and they've got a very good graphic here. So it's showing the kind of average composition of any online community, where you've got 90% passive participants, 9% intermittent contributors, and then 1% heavy contributors. And these percentages will kind of skew more passive or more heavy, depending. But kind of roughly these kind of orders of magnitude are pretty universal. I would say in the past, heavy contributors for Vendure was like much more than 1%. With the open source community team, my goal personally is to get these two inner circles to expand, and we have more contribution in intermittent and more heavy contributors, because overall I think that's it's a healthier community, and I think we're making a good start on this. I can already feel this like middle circle starting to expand. It feels good, and I think that's just a very simple way to sum up the whole kind of project. I want to just check for questions now. So getting back to the pronunciation of the name of the project. So Charles saying, I always wondered if it was a play on vendor. Yes, it is a play on vendor. So it's to do with selling, right? So that's the idea. The other thing is that it's like quite a unique name. So if you Google it or search on any kind of platform, then you don't get false positives, which is not the case with all open source projects like React, for example. Yeah, okay, good. So to finish off, I want to just open the floor if there's any questions from the community. I know we have some people watching live on YouTube right now. If you have any questions for the members of the open source community team, of myself, ask now. Otherwise, we are available on Discord. That's probably the best means of reaching out to us. Anyone got any questions they want answered? Any burning questions? We'll establish the pronunciation of the project name, which is, I guess, the main important thing. Okay, good. So, any last words from any of our team members today? Martijn.
How many GitHub notifications do you get every day?
Let me just have a look where we're standing right now.
I feel that I already have too many, but I have nearly not as much open source code as the Vendure core code, so I'm curious.
So I'll show you. Actually, I'm not sharing that tab, but so if I look in my GitHub notifications, I have 121 in my inbox just for the Vendure project, 39 unread, unfortunately. The most recent notification comes from Martijn, where you opened a bug report about the admin UI. So thanks for that. You can triage that yourself if you want.
I should probably review that one myself. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, you're pretty up to date, I have to say then, even though the amount of notifications.
In my inbox. We have a question here from Mitch. Would there be a future implementation of MyLeSearch to Vendure instead of Elasticsearch? Possibly. We have the Elasticsearch integration. I would imagine that a MyLeSearch integration would basically work in the same way, but you're just pushing it into MyLeSearch into whatever format they want to do. I would say if anyone wants to work on that as an open source community project, then go ahead and we can support you with that. that's the best way to get started with things like that.
Yeah, I can also only recommend just looking into the code base, because I feel like the Elasticsearch plugin is also written really well. You just need to exchange the indexing part and the fetching part of the data, and I think then we are good to go already.
Yeah, and in terms of search integrations, if you've heard of another solution called TypeSense, then we do have an integration with TypeSense, which you will hear more about in the coming month. I won't say more about that yet. Elasticsearch, and Andrew says Elasticsearch too heavy. Yeah, that's an issue with Elastic. I mean, Elastic can do everything, but it is a bit overkill sometimes. Arnie says he's going to build the Milvus integration. What's Milvus? Anyone heard of this? Better look it up. But that's great. Thank you for. It's a vector database. Okay.
Vector database, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, definitely want to see that. Okay, good. So the point is there is lots of integrations, and as an open source community, everyone can contribute. And I'm sure there's projects that people would like to collaborate on that could mutually benefit like a whole bunch of different people. And that's what's great about having an open source community, and that's what we're actually building right here. So Arnie says it's a vector database blazing fast. Now we're having a discussion about what's best. Someone's brought up Rust now, so okay. I'm going to leave that in the comments. We're not going to get into a language flame war now. TypeScript's the best anyway, so we'll just leave it there. Okay, let's wrap this up. So I want to finish by saying really thank you all, members of the Vendure open source community team. I'm really excited about it. It's like a new chapter for the whole project. I think we're going to do some really cool stuff together. It's going to be a huge benefit for the whole project, for like everyone in the community. And yeah, I think that's all there is to say. Thank you very much for being here today from all the different time zones that we have. And I think it's something that we can maybe do on a semi-regular basis. We can kind of broadcast together. I think we can kind of come up with ideas and like workshop them out together. Yeah, there's a few more questions going on in the chat. I think it's been answered. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you all who've been watching on the live stream. Arnie, Andrew, Charles, Philip, Ben, and everyone else, Noah. Lots of names that I recognize. Thank you for being with us. Okay, so I will say goodbye. Thank you all for joining. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.